Hi. So with all the talk about leaky gut recently, I thought I'd just take a moment to explain a little bit better about what leaky gut is. Because there's a lot of us that have heard about it for years, but there's a lot of people that are still, this is a relatively new term for them. And they're kind of considering, could that be my symptoms? So here's what happens. Here's how a leaky gut develops. Okay, step one is the lining of your gut should heal really quite quickly, right? We should eat a food that might tear it up a little bit and that lining gets replaced. So we'll pick a food, for example, wheat, right? Wheat these days is sprayed with so many pesticides and glyphosate filled, right? When we eat that type of food, and I'm just using wheat as an example, but there's many different types of foods out there, right? Junk food, right? Processed sugar, right? When we eat those foods, the lining of our gut gets little cuts in it, right? So think about eating a food that's not good for your system. It hits your digestive system and it creates little cuts, right? So the cuts heal. Right, and then again we go and we eat foods that we shouldn't, and we get little cuts in our system and they heal. So for example, the person, and I'm using wheat again as an example, but you get up in the morning and you have toast for breakfast or a conventional cereal, right? And it goes in and it creates little cuts in your gut. Right, and then lunchtime comes and you didn't prep anything, so you've got nothing there. So you run out and grab something kind of junky from maybe the food court or a quick drive-by restaurant, right? And you eat that and it creates a little bit more gut, or cuts in your gut, right? And then supper comes and you might have a really great salad, but it's filled with croutons, right? And then there's garlic bread with the meal, right? And then after the meal we have sugar. Right, or maybe we spend the evening drinking wine, right? Alcohol creates little cuts in our digestive system, right? So we eat food we shouldn't, we get those little cuts in our system and they heal up. And then we eat stuff again and we get cuts and they heal up. Until one day, we eat foods and we get little cuts and they don't heal anymore. The body's run out of its ability to keep getting damaged and heal itself again. And we usually go that day, well, I've never had a food sensitivity before, but I think what I just ate kind of bothered my gut. And we kind of forget about it till the next meal or till a few days later when we're eating something that we normally eat and go, you know what, that didn't sit quite right. It's because our gut stopped healing. That's really what that is. So, I mean, our body's ability to heal and repair and live well is based on our ability to heal. So when we get those cuts that aren't healing, right, what we eat starts to leak back into our bloodstream. And that creates antibodies, right? And that's when we eat food and immediately don't feel good. Right? We eat food and our joints are sore for the next few days, right? Or we eat something that we're normally eating and we get a headache afterwards. That's an inflammatory reaction because our gut's got so many cuts in it that everything's leaking back into ourselves, right? Creating reactions. So this is where there's two parts to heal the gut, right? The first step to heal that is to remove all the offending foods, any kind of food that creates any kind of symptoms, right? The big ones, get rid of those out of your diet. And this is where people say to me, I don't want to, right? I don't want to get rid of all these foods. I like these foods. Can I just get rid of them 50% of the time? What if I just reduce the foods? So here's the thing, right? If your arm was full of cuts, right? If you'd broken your arm or you sprained it over and over and over again, right? You'd go to the doctor and the doctor would say, we got to bandage that up, right? And they'd put a big bandage on your arm. And that bandage would be there for a good time, right? You wouldn't take it off for a Mexico vacation, right? You wouldn't take it off for a birthday party, right? If your arm's casted up, that cast is there over Christmas, right? It's there to let that part of your body heal. It's the same thing with the digestive system, right? If it's got all sorts of cuts and leaks and breaks in it, we gotta get rid of everything, right? So get rid of it for a time, remove it all. That's step one, right? And then step two is to go in with products that heal the gut. So this is where we talk about probiotics, prebiotics, glutamine, right? We talk about anti-pathogen products to kill any kind of bacteria that might have grown in there, right? It's really a two-part process. Because people that go, I don't want to do supplements, I just want to change my foods. Great, right? Cut them out. But there's going to come a point where you're going to be cutting more and more and more and more foods out. Right? And you become the person that one year you've got to remove kind of glutens and dairies, and the next year nightshades start to bother you. And a few months down the road, sugar starts to bother you. It's because you haven't healed your guts, right? So you're forever going to be removing foods. And on the other side, I get a lot of people that, I don't really want to change my diet, I'm just going to take some supplements. Okay, but you're going to be on those supplements forever, right? Because you're never actually giving your gut a chance to heal. So it's a two-part process, right? Remove the foods, heal the gut, right? And when your gut lining is healed, right, and your antibody levels drop, right, then you try experimenting or introducing some foods again, right, and see how your system does, right? And maybe you can do them once in a while. But it's really a two-part process to healing up a leaky gut. But I just wanted to take a minute and kind of walk you through the specifics of what creates a leaky gut. So if you've got any questions about that, or if you think that that could be you and you'd like our help, let us know. We'd be happy to.